Hi there everybody, this is David and welcome to New RPG News. Hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas, a great holiday time, and is looking forward to New Year's this weekend. And I did also want to let you know that New Year's Day is the last day that you can order this cool shirt. Comes here in the baseball tee as well as a regular t-shirt if you do want to pick that up. The last day to order is on the 31st to support the channel. And we have a lot of stuff to talk about this week, from a Star Ocean 3, maybe a remake, to Chrono Trigger 2 comments, to all sorts of different stuff. And if you're new to the channel, please be sure that you subscribe for some more top 10s, reviews, news, and rants. And as always, hit that like button to show your love. Now let's go ahead and get started. First up, we're starting with a banger here. PlayStation reportedly is planning on selling their games in parts for $50 each, raising overall prices to $80 to $100. Oh my god. I am just like, I can't even deal with this. Like, okay, so this comes from a data breach. It says Sony subsidiary Insomniac Games was hit by a massive data breach, after which the hackers threatened to release untold amounts of data unless they got a ransom paid. But chief among these leaks was an internal presentation that reveals that not only is Sony planning on increasing their game prices from $70 to $80 to $100, they're also planning to release the next Spider-Man game in 3 parts for $50 each. Yeah, this is Spider-Man, it's not an RPG, but oh god! And I can only think, what other game is being released in 3 separate parts? Yeah, I think that they're seeing the success of what Square Enix is doing. They're like, oh, we should do the same thing. It says here that they're planning on releasing Spider-Man 3 in 3 parts, 2 parts for the main game, and with the multiplayer sold separately for a grand total of $150. Like, what in the world? I remember back in the day when you bought one game and you got the entire thing. And if the game developers finished the game early, they were able to add in more, free of charge. Final Fantasy VI is a prime example of this. They finished the game at the end of the Floating Continent, but they still had 3 months left, and they're like, hey, we have 3 months, what are we gonna do? Just, sit on our thumbs? No, we're going to create more, and they created the entire world of Ruin. Imagine buying Final Fantasy IV, and you got, $50 just for the main overworld, and then you had to spend another $50 for the underworld portion, and then another $50 whenever you went to the moon. Like, what in the world? And then I know that people are, the apologists are going to come in. Oh, David, game development is so expensive nowadays. It costs millions and millions and millions of dollars to make these games. But back in the day, it didn't cost as much money. But you know what? Who controls these budgets? The game developers control these budgets. That's what they do. Like, they have accountants, they have people, they say, how much certain things cost and everything, and you know what? You can still make a pretty freaking fun game that doesn't cost billions and billions of dollars. This is out of control. This is absolutely crazy. This is just wild. Like, we got Final Fantasy VII in one game on 3 different discs, and it was fine back in the day. It's one of the best games ever, and now it's getting split up into 3 different parts, and yeah, they do feel like full games, they do, but, this is the state of gaming, and this is no good, and you know what? Maybe if your games cost too much, then, bring it down a tad. I personally do not need hyper-realistic graphics and all this nonsense that we see in games nowadays. I don't need that. I am fine with sprite-based graphics, like Octopath Traveler 2, or something like Star Ocean 2R. I am fine with that. I am fine with cartoony graphics, like Dragon Quest XI. I am fine with that. We do not need all this hyper-realism. That is what is driving up the cost of these games, and we don't need that. It's ridiculous. If Square Enix went ahead and they released Final Fantasy VII, this new Final Fantasy VII remake, but they used the graphical engine of something like Ever Crisis, where they just kind of made it like the same but just nicer, like, we would have gotten the entire game on one disc. It would have been fine. We wouldn't have had to buy 3 different games. But because of this, like, I don't know, hard-on that they have for these hyper-realistic graphics, all it does is just ruin gaming. And yeah, I'm kind of on a rant here, kind of on a soapbox right now, but I just have to say this. I have to say it, that I feel that the more cartoony graphics you are, the more sprite-based graphics that you have, the more timeless your game is going to be. The more that it's going to age well. But whenever you do try to go after those hyper-realistic graphics, then it doesn't age all that hot. Just look at something like Final Fantasy VIII, which tried to go for that realism. Look at those graphics right now. Then look at Final Fantasy IX, which went the cartoony route. You look at those graphics, and they've aged quite well. There is a difference here. You can look at something like Dragon Quest VIII, which went all cartoony, and it looks fan-freaking-tastic as compared to a lot of the other games on the PS2 that went realistic, and they just don't. So I think that not only are they shooting themselves in the foot as far as future-proofing their games, but they're also just making them way too expensive for their own good. Japanese creators discuss 2024 ambitions. We have all sorts of different quotes here. It says the website interviewed 176 creators, and we have some quotes here from those various game creators, and I just want to kind of hit some high points here because there's a lot of them. We're going to start with basically just the RPG developers on this list, starting with Idea Factory. They say in 2024 we will officially kick off development on the latest numbered entry in the Neptunia series. The entire staff is working hard to be able to announce it to the fans as soon as possible, so please look forward to further updates. Atlus is saying that they are currently involved in an unannounced title. While the timing of its announcement has yet to be decided, I am working hard alongside the director towards its completion. Please give up your support when that time comes. I have a guess as to what that unannounced title is. At first I was like, maybe it's Metaphor, but no, that's been announced. It's gotta be Persona 6. It just has to be Persona 6. I can't think of what else it could possibly be. The next one that I want to read is from Square Enix. So it says, I'm working hard. Will I finally be able to announce something new, or will I not? Please wait a little longer. So not much there from Square Enix, unfortunately. Let's see, this is from Nagoshi Studio, who creates the Like a Dragon series, or Yakuza, and they're saying, 2024, like 2023, will surely be a year that I put all my effort into the content that we're currently creating. I know that there are many saying that, I want information soon! But now that I've decided to carefully create something that I find truly interesting and suitable for the new era, I would like to proceed without being rushed. Of course, if we come across any information that we can share, we will actively share it. So please continue to give us your support. So it's kind of a nothing burger there. Let's see what Nihon Falcon has to say. This is Kondo, who has created the Ys and the Trails series, and they are saying, we're thinking of setting about and focusing not only on Falcom's familiar series, but also other new titles. Some preparations are already underway, so I would like to make an announcement at some point this year. However, first I would like to work hard to bring the latest entry in the Trails series. Kaino Kiseki. Trails has been going on for many, many years and is celebrating its 20th anniversary, but the next entry, The Truth Behind the Continent of Zemuria, which has been a mystery throughout the series, will finally be unveiled. Do not miss it. And then from Bandai Namco, they're saying, while Sandland is currently under development, the entire team is working hard, and we hope to deliver it in the not-too-distant future. So please look forward to that with anticipation. The next one that I want to read, I believe, is another developer over at Idea Factory and Compile Heart. And they're saying, we announced a number of titles in 2023, but there are still many projects still to be announced, as well as several initiatives that will make you say, Compile Heart's doing something like this? Huh, are they actually going to make a good game? Ho-ho! Man, that would just blow my mind. Let's see what Atlus has to say. These are the developers of SMT. It says, in 2024, we'll be releasing Unicorn Overlord from Vanillaware, as well as one other title. At some time, I'd like to prepare for future projects. That one other unannounced title. We don't know what it is. What could it possibly be? Is it Persona 6? Maybe it's SMT 6 as well. We don't know. Square Enix says, I think we'll be able to release various titles and information in 2024, from big ones to not so big ones. While handling these tasks with care, I'll also be making preparations for future endeavors. They also say that the keyword is surprise. I'm preparing various things to be able to carry out the surprise mentioned in the keyword. Also, if I don't do something about my inability to say no whenever I'm asked anything, I may soon die, so I should probably start paying a little attention to my health. Oh gosh. Okay, from Sega. They say, this is my 4th year of the Dragon. I'm incredibly happy to be able to release Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which I put all my effort into during this year. Well, I'm looking forward to its release. I hope to be able to make another big announcement in 2024. So we have another announcement from the developers of the Like a Dragon or the Yakuza series. Lots and lots of stuff going on right there. And then, we have the developers Furyu, who created like Trinity Trigger, Monarch, Cry Machina, Crystar. They're saying, in 2024, we plan to release at least 3 different titles. I'm happy to be able to work on so much. We'll have various announcements in the first half of the year, so please do look forward to them. Hopefully they're better than Cry Machina. Hopefully they're more like Trinity Trigger. I liked Trinity Trigger. Mistwalker. They are from the Final Fantasy series, The Lost Odyssey, Fantasian, and their keyword is development on a new title begins. I'm starting to work on a new title. I'm currently writing the scenario, having gone through the scenario plot. At this stage, it's important to condense and infuse what makes it fun. I will do my best. We have a new RPG announced, Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs. The thrilling, steamy maze Kiwami adds PS5, Switch, iOS, and Android versions, launching January 18th of next year. This is a dungeon RPG that was previously already announced for the PC. It is now coming to consoles. I'm going to read the overview of the game. It says, do you want to dive into a bath or into a dungeon? This is now an RPG that's pushing all sorts of boundaries. It makes its video game debut as a genuine roguelike RPG. In order to save Kogarashi, search through expansive dungeons that change the layout every time that you enter. Jump into hot springs to power up, but watch out for damage to your clothes. A new story of hauntings, hot springs, and adventure awaits you. This looks pervy AF, but if you're into this stuff, be on the lookout for that. We have new information on Bar Stella Abyss. This is NISA's latest game that they are developing. This is a roguelike strategy RPG, and it just gives us kind of like an overview here, and I just want to go over it very briefly. It says, you will strengthen your party with the power of the constellations while exploring a dungeon in another world that changes form each time that you play. In addition to exploring the other world, the story will unravel as you share drinks with the peculiar patrons of the bar, Stella Abyss. The protagonist, who arrives at the hidden bar Stella Abyss after following a flyer floating in the wind through the city at night, in order to get back the face and arm they lost in the drunken world, they must go back and forth between the bar and the other world. Interesting, right there. So they lost their face and their arm. That's just lovely. And then it goes over the various patrons who you can meet and kind of bond with at the bar and share drinks and things like that. And then it says, by sharing a table with one of the patrons, they may become your ally whenever you encounter them in the dungeon. If you see somebody visit the bar for the first time, be sure to talk to them. Up to 2 characters can be added to the party members who lend you their strength in a dungeon. But the characters that you encounter are basically random. You are, though, more likely to run into the last character you sat down with at the bar. So, the more you talk to them, the more likely they're basically going to show up in the dungeon, the more friendly that you'll be, and then the more that you talk to them, the more you can also power them up with various Stella, which are basically the powers of the constellations to enhance their various attacks that they have right here. This is looking to be a pretty cool game. It looks really nice to me. Kind of social sim meets roguelike, so that might be up your alley. R-Type Tactics 1-2 Cosmos launches in fall of 2024 with a new trailer being released. This is coming out with the PS5, the Xbox, the PS4, the Switch, and the PC. This is also another game from Nice America, and I'm just going to read to you the overview right here. It says, as the Bido continue to eliminate humanity, you must outsmart and outmaneuver them if the Space Corps has any hope of victory. That is, until you find yourself fighting alongside the very forces that you were tasked with destroying. This combines side-scrolling shoot-'em-up action and the series is known for, as well as tactical turn-based strategy gameplay for a one-of-a-kind R-type experience. Remade in Unreal Engine 5, this 2-game collection blasts its way onto the Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC, with R-Type Tactics 2 also making its debut in the West for the first time. Deploy your forces across multiple campaigns, playing as both the Space Corps and the Bido. You can also set your sights on competitive online play to see who the ultimate tactician really is. With hundreds of ships and levels to choose from between both games, along with branching missions and a new third campaign, this is packed with all sorts of new out-of-this-world content. This kind of ties into what I was talking about earlier, as far as whenever you make games, you control the costs. Here we're getting a collection redone with all new stuff coming out, and, you know, it's going to be costing the price of one game, probably like $50. And then Sony wants to take their games, chop them up into multiple pieces, and then sell them out piecemeal for $150. So support the games, or support the developers that support you, the gamer, that support the consumer. That's all I'm going to say about that. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink as PS5 and PS4 demo is launching this month in January. Playable characters are, good God, Cagliostro, Seophon, and Twayen? I have no idea. Seophon and Twayen are coming via a free update in April of 2024, so that is really, really nice. It says that this has actually gone gold, so we know that it is in production. There are no more delays to be had for this game. It is coming out. There's nothing else that could possibly delay it. It is coming out with this free DLC. This is really freaking cool. All these different characters are going to be like at this base, and you can like ask them to join up with you and everything. I don't know anything about the Grand Blue Fantasy franchise. I literally have no clue. I don't even know if it's an anime television show. I have no idea. I don't know if it's a manga. I don't know if they just made it up and they pulled it out of their ass. I don't really know what this thing is, but I do know I do know that it just looks absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to play it, especially this demo. We don't have a date on when the demo is coming out, but we do know that it's coming out. It says enjoy a slice of the main story, playable online multiplayer quests, 11 playable characters available, and you can earn rewards for the full game. Fullmetal Alchemist Mobile is set to end service on March 29th, 2024, ending less than 2 years in service. So this was a free-to-play mobile RPG from Square Enix. All in-game purchases have been suspended, and you can play it up until the end of March. So if you're a fan of this game, I'm very sorry. It is ending. That is just how mobile games roll nowadays. It's kind of sucky for people who liked mobile, but don't say I didn't ever warn you. In a letter, the development team said that while it was received positive feedback regarding this depiction of the original work story in the game, it also received various opinions in areas where it has not been able to provide satisfactory service. And while it has taken initiatives to improve, it has become difficult to maintain the team structure necessary to provide better service going forward. Since the service will end before the development team is able to deliver on the original story that's previously promised, what the hell? It will instead produce it as a voice drama, give me a break, be released subsequently via streaming between January and March. So yeah, the overpromise and the underdeliver for a mobile game, tale as old as time. And here we have Western Dragon Quest lovers like me getting the short end of the stick yet again. Dragon Quest Tact Global version is to end service on February 29th, 2024. This is 1 month before the Fullmetal Alchemist game is set to stop as well. This is also from Square Enix. This is only the global version, not the Japanese version. The Japanese version is still staying online because, you know, they love Dragon Quest there. But unfortunately, it is getting canned here. It says that it first launched July 16th, 2020 in Japan. Then the global version began January 27th, 2021. And it says they did not make an end of service announcement for the Japanese version, so it will still continue there, but here is our Western English announcement. Thank you for playing Dragon Quest Tact. We regret to announce that we've made the difficult decision to discontinue Dragon Quest Tact app service as of February 29th. From the Dragon Quest Tact production team, we apologize for the abrupt announcement, but we're sincerely grateful for the support that we've received from our players. Since Dragon Quest Tact's launch, we've strived to provide an incredible and enjoyable gaming experience for our players every day that could exceed the day before. However, we've come to the conclusion that it would be difficult to continue maintaining the app experience, therefore we are ending the app service. So that's unfortunate. I don't know why we can't love Dragon Quest here like they do over there. I am over on the Twitter, and this is on Genki's page, and he has translated some stuff, and it says, Chrono Trigger creators Yuji Horii, Hironobu Sakaguchi, and Kazuhiko Torishima praised Sea of Stars as a beautiful game. They said it looks just like Chrono Trigger, and they said the developers did a really good job. After talking about the possibility of Chrono Trigger 2, which they said was hard to see themselves doing, Sakaguchi brought up the Sea of Stars and showed the other two the trailer for the game. Yuji Horii said, Wow, they did a great job. It looks just like Chrono Trigger. It's beautiful. That's great. Torishima said that it was nostalgic, and Sakaguchi said, Look, it's the same. Whenever I saw it, I thought that they really did their best and did a great job. So they had nothing but good things to say about Chrono Trigger, about Sea of Stars, but what really got me about this was this little tidbit. After talking about the possibility, still there, of Chrono Trigger 2, it's still there, but they wouldn't be doing it themselves. I mean, I know that they all have their own projects. They're all very, very busy men, but it's still out there. It's still a possibility. They are still mulling it over. It is something out there they could possibly do, or maybe even pass it on to their proteges to work on. So, oh man, I would love that. More Square Enix news, more remake news, more disappointment. Square Enix is aware of fan expectations for a Star Ocean 3 remake, but no plans are currently set in stone, or at least they can't tell us anything yet. This comes from an interview in Famitsu magazine. So I'm just going to go ahead and read this translated portion of the interview. It says, the interview. As a remake of Star Ocean 2, it's wonderful. I would definitely like to see the next remake being of Star Ocean 1, or maybe Star Ocean 3. The Star Ocean team started this project from the point of making all the games in the series playable on current platforms, so we are fulfilling that goal. Of course, we're aware of the expectations for a remake of Star Ocean 3, but we're in the process of further promoting Star Ocean the Second Story R, and at this stage, nothing has been decided on what to do next. We want to think of something while we're receiving warm feedback from everybody, but we cannot give any answers at this time. I can't make any promises, but I hope you will keep an eye on the Star Ocean series over the long term. We feel that Star Ocean the Second Story R was a great experience for us, and it has been a long time since we've made a full-scale, full-fledged RPG. I hope that we'll have many more opportunities to create titles that will please everyone in the future. It makes sense for me to ride this wave, this Star Ocean wave that we've been on with the Divine Force, and now with the really positive reception of Star Ocean 2. It just makes sense to move on to Star Ocean 3. And it's just a PS2 remake. I think that they can do that. So yeah, they're thinking about it. They're talking about it. They maybe are working on it, but they just can't say anything about it yet. And now for our final story of the day. Final Fantasy VII Advent Children Complete is coming to US theaters this February, about a week or so before Final Fantasy VII Rebirth announces, as like a little, hypey sort of thing right here. The tickets are currently being sold on various websites like Fandango, AMC, Regal, and Atom Tickets, and the film will air in the United States on February 21st in English or February 22nd in Japanese. An official announcement has yet to come from Square Enix. However, these listings confirm that we will see the film return to theaters in the West. Remember, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming out on the 29th of February. This movie is coming out the 21st and the 22nd, so right before the game release. But as kind of like a little special tie-in, it says that alongside the release of Advent Children Complete in the theaters, a special short film for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will premiere before the film. This will include new interviews with the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth development team and Advent Children creators, alongside action-packed gameplay from the game. So you'll get like a little preview event, like a behind-the-scenes sort of thing right there. If you haven't heard this film, I'm just going to read the little synopsis, I guess, for it. It says, continuing the storyline based on the hit PlayStation game from Final Fantasy VII, 2 years have passed since the ruins of Midgar stand as a testament to the sacrifices made in order to bring peace. However, the world will soon face a new menace. A mysterious illness is spreading fast, old enemies are astir, and Cloud, who walked away from the life of a hero to live in solitude, must step forward yet again. So if you want to see this movie again, or if you just want some behind the scenes little, I don't know, bonuses, Easter eggy sort of stuff about the film or about the game, then be sure to get your tickets the 21st in English, the 22nd of February if you want to watch it in Japanese. So that's it for this week's news. Not a whole lot of stuff going on this week. You know, it's kind of that week between Christmas and New Year's, that kind of weird week right there. So yeah, hopefully it picks up in January. I have more to come to y'all every single week. And again, if you haven't ordered your shirt, be sure to do so. It's the last day to do that. Show your love with a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, have a good day.